spot was probably a bad idea to film in because so many people walk by and I'm just going to be there's one. And I'm just going to be constantly looking at them because I'm going to feel like that they're going to be constantly looking at me. Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I am doing a vlog. I don't know how long of a time period this vlog is going to consist of. However, we're doing it. The point of this vlog is that I am going to read a book that I was going to unhaul. If you saw, in August, I believe is when I posted it, I did an unhaul and reorganization of my bookshelves because when I moved here, I got rid of a bunch of books and then I organized these bookshelves. I'll leave that video linked. And unlike the first time I did that, I'll also leave that one linked, I showed you all of the books that I was getting rid of and gave like real quick short reasons and that kind of thing. But I went back home one weekend and I was thinking, you know what if I read a book that I was intending on getting rid of? Because I had one book on my mind that part of me was like, I don't think I should get rid of that one because I feel like I should read it. And that book is Secret by Lindsay Smith. I don't know if it's pronounced secret. I don't know if it's pronounced secret. I should look that up. And then you can't really read this, but it says an empty mind is a safe mind. I do not remember what this book is about. This book was recommended to me by both my friend Lindy and my friend Anna. You have seen them before. I will leave the vlog where we go see The Lightning Thief down below. And they have both read this book and they both loved this book. So they're the reason I bought this book. But then for some reason I was like, you know what, I'm never going to read it. So I was going to unhaul it. And then after about a week of knowing it was in that box to send to Half Price Books, my mind was like, you know what? But what if you read it? So that is what I am doing. I am not going to read a synopsis before I dive in. I'm just going to dive in, see what it's about. I feel like it has something to do with the Soviet Union. I don't know why that is in my mind and if that's correct, but that's what I'm thinking. I remember whatever it was I was excited about at one time. So we're gonna see if past Hannah, I'm getting a phone call. It's the same person. I'm gonna answer this time. Hello? My new glasses are ready. That's exciting. What was I saying? Basically, we're gonna see if past me was valid and there are reasons to be excited. We're also going to judge this recommendation from two of my best friends. So, no pressure. So already something cool about this book, and this is just literally from me choosing a bookmark to put in, which by the way, I picked this one. I will, fun fact, at some point be doing a bookmark collection video. When that happens, don't know. But this first page, I noticed text on it, so I stopped to read it. And I don't know if you can tell what it says, but it basically explains Russian names and how there's different endings for middle names and last names for men and women, and then how they derive from like the father's names, and then there's the last name, and just like the process behind them. And then it says all of the nicknames that she has in the book. So she kind of gives you a little information about how that works so you don't go in confused if you don't already know, which I didn't already know. And so that was really cool, but I am going to do school before I start this. But I was just sticking a bookmark in here and that happened. Now that I've read some of this book, I feel like I can tell you a little bit about what it's about. Oh, hang on. This book is set in the USSR in the 1960s when the space race is going on and America and Russia / the USSR are competing to see who can win that, and like, you know, Cold War, all of that jazz is going on. So that's when it's set, and it's set in the USSR, and it's about these kids, specifically Yulia, who have psychic abilities. Some of them don't know it yet, but basically she doesn't realize she has actual like psychic abilities, and then she gets captured in a sense and taken to work for the whatever their like secret service thing is as like a psychic. Then there's this whole process of her wanting to run away. There's something with her mom and like genetics and experiments and stuff, and that's pretty much it. There's other kids in this program. They're trying to stop Americans from stealing plants for the space race, and that is what I know so far. I'm on chapter 12. There's page 93, and I'm with Anna, and she is one of the two who recommended the book to me. So tell the people what you thought of it.
I really enjoyed it. I probably read it, I think it was 2013 when I read it, so a while ago, but I remember just really enjoying it thoroughly. I really liked the way that she created like their abilities and the way that they used them. I thought that was like really good, but again, it was like 6 years ago and I don't like fully remember. But I really did enjoy it, and I really like did recommend it to Hannah many times before she actually got it.
Fun fact is I'm actually kind of bored with it right now. So
it blows my mind because I remember being nothing but like in love with it when I was reading it.
My problem is like I'm not connecting with her at all. Like
yeah, I feel
like she kind of screams Katniss to me in a way, which makes me feel like I should connect with her, but also I feel like I'm over my Katniss phase, and so I'm not. Like reading this, I'm like 13-year-old me would have lived for this book, and so I should have read it when y'all recommended it to me, but 21-year-old me is like, I mean, this is good so far, but I'm not invested, so I'm kind of bored. So like I could literally set this down and never pick it up again. If I weren't making this video, I would set it down and never pick it up again probably.
Yeah.
But I'm determined to finish it, so that's where I am right now.
Probably if I reread it now, I wouldn't be like as in love with it as I was the first time I read it, but it was really good. I enjoyed it the first time, so I hope Hannah starts to like it.
I do too, honestly. I don't like being bored.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Okay. Yay. Thank you for that. We're studying. Well, I haven't done anything yet because my computer is trying to update. I've done nothing. So now maybe I'll just read. We'll see. That should work. Do these seem more reflective than my old glasses? Because I feel like they do. But hello, it is Sunday, the 27th. It's been a bit of a gap since I have done any vlogging, and it's also been a gap since I've done any reading. A quick rundown of what happened this weekend. I went home Thursday because I had a dentist appointment, and they aren't open on Fridays. So I went home Thursday, and then I was gonna go home this past weekend anyway because it's the Texas Book Festival, or it was the Texas Book Festival. And so I just skipped my one class on Friday and stayed for a really long weekend. And did some mowing, some weed eating, did a lot of friend visiting. I got to meet my nephew. Technically not my nephew, but I'm calling him my nephew. It's my cousin's, who's also technically like my third or whatever cousin, because she's the daughter of my dad's cousin, so whatever that makes her along the family tree, but we call them cousins. And I'm calling Drew my little nephew. But I got to meet him, got to see a bunch of friends. Went to the book festival. There will be a video about that at some point. Some of my family came up for that, so we got to visit with them, and a lot of socializing. I did get a little bit of school stuff done before the weekend happened, but I haven't really done anything productive in a while. And I have about an hour, less than an hour actually, and then I'm going to go to a friend's house and we're going to carve pumpkins and have chili and make s'mores, which I know this is all completely off topic, but all that to say, I haven't really done any reading. Also, I got my new glasses. So this is one pair. They're blue. I don't know if you can tell. And they're pretty similar shaped to the ones I already had. And then I got these at America's Best, and they had a deal where you could get two for $69.95. And so I got two for $69.95. And these are my second pair. So a little more square shaped, and they're brown. You can tell, but they feel a lot more reflective than my last ones do. I'm like just really staring at myself. They feel a lot more reflective than my last ones do, and so I don't know how much I like that, but I do like them as a whole. I also like the blue ones better than these because they like feel better when I wear them, but whatever. You're here for the book. It's growing on me a little bit. I'm on page 100 something. I think I've just barely made it to the 100 page mark, and it's slowly growing on me. I'm not hooked on it yet, but there is a new factor that's come into play that I think will make it interesting. So I am more inclined to pick it up now because I feel like there's that kind of interest factor now. However, I did make the mistake of getting the Crazy Rich Asians audiobook from my library, and I was listening to that on my drive back here, and it is so freaking good. I'm not making a video for that. I'll just talk about it in my wrap-up whenever that comes out. But I am listening to it on an audiobook. Look at me getting into audiobooks. If you haven't seen that video, it'll be linked. But that is to say that now Secret has competition, and very tough competition, because I already know that I like at least the basic plot line of Crazy Rich Asians because I know I liked the movie, and I am more invested already in that story because I already know about that story, and so I'm gonna have to be making like a conscious effort to pick up Secret instead of Crazy Rich Asians. But then also Crazy Rich Asians, I have a deadline because it's a check out from the library when this one I own. So I just need to stop doing school and just read. That's the solution. There we go. I'll be doing that this week. That's all I have to say. Expect a book fest video, and I will let you know if I end up enjoying it more, which I kind of anticipate that I will, but I'm still skeptical. If you're curious what you were balancing on, it was my planner, my AP style book, and then my journals and Bible. You are currently balancing on top of my coffee maker. I don't know if you can hear me because a weird vent thing is going off in the corner, but I have some updates. I haven't really done a whole lot of reading. I'm still only on page 137, so I'm not that far. And I came up with this theory that since I'm trying to get into audiobooks, maybe what I need to do is listen to the audiobook version of this. So I go to my library. They don't have the audiobook version and they don't have a physical version. So I check the library here because I also have a card here being college. And they also don't have the library version or the physical version. So I just go to Overdrive and I click in Secret and I put in Find in a Library because I have a text share card, which means I can take this little piece of paper to most libraries and get the card with them without having to pay a non-residence fee. And it literally says showing 0 to 0 of 0 entries. As in, this book is nowhere. So then I thought maybe I'll just do Scribd and do like a 30-day trial. It's unavailable on Scribd right now. I literally cannot find this audiobook unless I pay for it, and I am refusing to pay for it. All that to say, I feel like the way I'm going to finish this in ample time is to get an audiobook, and I am having problems with that. It's just still not grabbing me. Like, it's good, and I can see if I had read this when everyone was telling me I should have read it, I would have loved it. I would have been gushing about this. This probably would have been a favorite. But now it's just no longer my taste. So it's nice to read in the sense that it's kind of reminiscent of, you know, your 13, 14-year-old me and what she liked to read. But now I'm just like, I'm not in the mood. And with how crazy school is, I don't want to be reading something that I'm not in the mood to read. I'm watching witty novels. Her most recent vlog with the aquarium in it. And she literally just DNF'd a book because she wasn't in it. And she was like, you know, if you don't like a book, just DNF it. And I'm so tempted. But I'm making this video, and so I want to finish it for the sake of that. So I'm torn, having problems, confused. Also, I'm freezing cold. It was 30 degrees this morning. I hate the cold. I know that's not that cold for some people. Listen, it's cold for me. It's now up to 52. Basically, I'm cold and I'm not enjoying the book as much as I want to. Every time I read it, it's like slowly getting better, but not enough to the point where I gravitate towards it to pick it up. It no longer has the competition of Crazy Rich Asians because I finished that audiobook this morning. It's Halloween, by the way. Happy Halloween, everybody. But it's just not grabbing me. And I think what I might try and do is just to binge read it this evening. But also I think I'm gonna watch Hocus Pocus, so I'm not sure if that'll actually happen. My memory card right now, so I don't know what I was last talking about. But I do want to finish it mainly for the sake of this video. And just to see, like, maybe it does get better. I'm still, like, if you look at that, I'm still not even halfway, which is depressing. So that's where I am. Also, I just realized that it might look like I am doing this on the same day as I did a last clip because I'm wearing this same sweatshirt. I just wear this sweatshirt a lot because it's really warm and it's so cute, for the record.
this happens with everybody who's new. They squeeze harder.
Okay, this is not focusing on him, but that's Stinky. Look, he's over there. And then you move over here. And he follows you. I literally cannot get this to focus on him. And then you come back over here. And he follows you. He plays. He's a fun-loving fish. There it goes. Hi, Stinky. Hi, Dusty. Last night I sat down and I finished second. So I have completely, finally finished this book. It was November 5th at like 11:30 at night, something like that. And it picked up around, I want to say like the 180 page mark. There was just more action, and so it was more interesting, and it picked up and I was more invested in it. Although I will say there were so many times where something new would happen and I would just go, are you kidding me? Because it looked like that, you know, we're kind of starting to wrap things up, kind of getting towards the end. Everything's starting to align, and then boom, another thing would happen. And there was one reveal that I suspected, so that didn't catch me by surprise. But I did find it interesting, and one thing I do have to say is I'm still very confused. I don't quite get their powers, I don't quite get where all this is going, and this book had the audacity to end on a cliffhanger. And I discovered that there's a second book to this series, and I don't want to read it, but also I want to know what happens. So I might be finding a summary because I am curious. But I will say it definitely picked up and it definitely got better. Is it fantastic? Was it my favorite? No, not really. Cannot say that. But it got better. And so towards the end, I was actually more invested in the story, actually caring about what the characters were doing and thinking. Still confused, still didn't love it, not a favorite. I guess I'm glad I read it. I guess that's the thing. Let's think about this. I'm reading this book because I was going to get rid of it, and that was my whole reason for reading it. I was gonna get rid of this, but I wanted to see if I was wrong in doing so. And part of me is like, no, and part of me is like, yes, because I did enjoy it. I know younger me would have absolutely adored this book, but also I kind of feel like since it took me so long to read, I almost wasted my time reading it, because I potentially could have been reading, like, say, 2 books in the time it took me to read this one. So that's something to take into consideration. But as a whole, I would say that I'm glad I read this book. I did enjoy it. It was fun towards the end. The beginning was just so slow and dragged on, and I was very confused, and like I said, I'm still kind of confused. But I think part of that is me just having not paid much attention as I was reading it and not really caring to. So that might be my fault. I would not be surprised if it were my fault. All in all, I thought this book was okay. It was good. I'm giving it 3 stars. I won't gush about it, but I wouldn't tell someone not to read it. It was definitely entertaining. I'm very curious to see what happens next. I think I'm gonna try and find and see if someone has like a summary of the second book, because I don't want to read the second book. Although part of me kind of does. Let me just say, that second half was so much better that I do kind of want to read the second book. So keep that in mind. It definitely picks up, gets a lot better towards the second half. Very dramatic, but you know, everyone likes that a little bit. And all in all, I enjoyed it. It just took me a while too. It was just rough. That first bit was just rough. Hi. Hello. So that's it for this video. Comment down below and let me know if you have ever decided to read a book that you were originally, what do you want, going to get rid of, and then decided not to and decided to give it a go. And how did it go for you? I'd say this went okay. Is it a favorite? No. But did I enjoy it? As a whole, yeah. Also comment down below and let me know if you want more of these kind of vloggy style videos. I find them a little bit difficult to do because I do have 4 other roommates living here and I don't want to fool them. So keep that in mind. But let me know what you think. Come here. Say goodbye. Say bye-bye. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all again in another one soon.